All right, so we're working in the shop on a Sunday. I've got a little time before my kids' soccer games, and I'm a bit intrigued with my latest project. This is my 1957 Berkeley SE 328. I've actually had this car for a couple years. It's been sitting around waiting for its turn, and as I was doing some wheels and tires for a customer and for my own personal car, I decided to do these wheels and tires, which are off the Berkeley. They are 12-inch tires from the 50s. I believe they could be original, 1957. And they have the wide 5 rims. They're solid rims. They are not split rims, although they probably do have tubes. No, they don't have tubes. They're actually tubeless, surprisingly. They're old-fashioned Michelins. You can see there. And they're Super Comfort 520 by 12s. Pretty neat to even have those. I'm sure they're hard as rocks and wouldn't be very soft or maybe not even safe for today's use. But let's get back to the car. Speaking of safe, it's probably as unsafe as a car as anyone could ever imagine. It weighs about 700 pounds. It has 4-wheel drum brakes. Originally had a motorcycle type engine, 2-stroke. It was then raced. I believe this nose portion here, this lower valance, was added. The original car just kind of came up there, and there was a piece that went across here that separated the grill area from the hood, and that is missing. Somebody put a larger engine into this car at one point in time and raced it, and we know that because it has these cutouts behind the wheels to let air flow through the front of the car, well, actually through the grill area, through these holes, and then out here to keep the car on the road. And like I said, I've had this car for a couple years. There is no paperwork with the car. There's no heritage. There's no prestige for racing that I'm aware of. But I found some clues, and I'm going to go through those with you today about this car. I'm doing what's called Automotive Archeology, and that's digging through the history of the car before I restore it to kind of get an idea of what's going on, what parts I need, what I need to be aware of. And this car was a complete gamble. I was looking for a Berkeley. They're very rare. Only 2,300 cars were ever built. Some of them were 3 wheels. In other words, they had 1 wheel in the back instead of 2. But most of the American cars were 4-wheel and, of course, left-hand drive. Now, this car came with pieces, came in boxes. I've got some parts strewn about here. And I want to go through the inventory list, or the automotive archaeology, as I've found some things to show you how and what I found. So let's go ahead and get started. I spent this morning getting the drums off. So it has 4-wheel drums on wide 5. So the drums look like this. It is a front-wheel drive car, so the front drums are splined and there's drive shafts. The bummer is these drums are cast iron, and when I pulled this drum off the driver's side, 2 of the tabs have broken. And it looks like somebody's welded something there. This is what came off. Somebody's goob welded one of the drums, and it's cast iron. You need a special process to do that. It has to be heated and such. So I'm going to try to find a new drum. That would have been very silly to drive the car, not notice that, and have the wheel fall off, cause some damage because the tabs are broken. If you look underneath the car, they're completely aerodynamic. They're completely flat along the bottom of the car, and possibly that made them a good race car at one point in time. They are drum brakes, like I said earlier. They're blind hole. In other words, the wheel cylinders push only one way, that way. They have little tiny motorcycle shocks like you'd find on a scooter, and they're adjustable. If I could grab that, and I could actually change the ride height a little bit by changing the lower collar. Kind of a double control arm here. I've just squirted grease into the upper, what would be the upper ball joint, and the lower ball joint. I had to find a Zerk there. I'm going to redo these brake lines. The brakes on these cars take vegetable oil. Let me repeat that. They're not normal brake fluid, but Castrol vegetable oil, because they have natural rubber seals. The brake lines themselves are not in great shape. They are pretty rusted. I'm lucky to have the brake lines, but I'm going to probably use them as a template. Now, the battery originally resided right back here. in this little tray. Somebody had relocated the battery to the passenger compartment, which also makes me believe that there was a larger engine in this car at one point, and somebody's extended the frame. These are not factory frame rails. Although they're in bad shape, they supported the engine in some way. I don't know if those are original or not. I don't think those are the original motor mounts. This car came with a 2-cylinder, 2-stroke engine, and I was told that somebody put a horizontally opposed 4-stroke Panhard engine in it. The voltage regulator does not look to be in very good shape. That's going to go away. I am doing an inventory on the brakes. It looks like all the brakes are here. I did find the master cylinder, which is laying down right about there, in a box. So I'm super happy to have that, and a set of shoes over there in a box. So I'm super happy to have that. The steering is not with the car, and the emergency brake cable is in shreds. So I've got to see if I can locate one of those. I want to show you something here. As part of the automotive archaeology, I like finding little tips and tricks and trying to find the history of the car. I bought this car from a friend in Tacoma, Washington, and if you look really close there, I don't know if my camera will focus it on that. That says Grants Pass, Oregon. So Tacoma, Washington, where I got the car, is about 3 hours north, and it looks like this car was at one time serviced by Mobile. Is there a date there? I can't see the date. In Grants Pass, which is about 5 hours south. So interesting, this is a local car. This door has some damage. This hinge is poking into the fiberglass. I've got to repair that. And of course the door sags quite a bit. If we're looking inside the car here, we're looking at the pedal box area, and the clutch, brake, and gas pedals are all seized. I've got penetrating oil on the pinion there. I'm trying to lubricate those and get those freed up. Also, the steering column's missing. It goes through this tunnel here and somehow attaches to the base of the dash. You can see light coming through the fiberglass. Here's our original choke knob or choke handle. Got a lot to do here. The seat was basically just part of the car. You can see the seat belts and some of the upholstery was just basically stapled and hooked to the back of the car. So the back of the car was the back of the seat, and the seat just basically lays right on the floor. The gauges, I have a couple, but I don't have the speedometer and or the tachometer. I have some of the smaller ones, which is weird because I don't see where to put them. I do have the windshield frame, but no windshield. I think I'm going to do a plexiglass windshield. I am lucky enough to have the door latches. If I can open that and close it for you. Oh, I think I might have locked it there. So I feel pretty lucky about that. And they do shut, although this one is in bad shape. I've got to fix the door. The emergency brake cable goes through the through the body of the car and goes to a trunnion to the rear suspension, which is actually pivots in the middle, which is really interesting. Again, motorcycle shocks in the back and drum brakes in the back that are also blind hole going one way facing forward, and the other part is a bit of a mechanical e-brake. You pull on this rod which comes from the cable there, and it pushes the brake shoe out. Again, we've got the racing vent holes here. I've got a little bit of primer on the back of the car to kind of help protect the fiberglass and fill in some of the spots. I've got a lot of work to do on the body. Tail lights, bumper brackets. Again, the bottom of the car is completely aerodynamic. It's like a big tray. We've got our license plate light here. Excuse me. I'm going to take off the brake lines today and see if I can get these recreated in possibly stainless steel. This door is actually in pretty good shape. It seems to shut well, although the fiberglass is a bit rough. Steering column and steering wheel are here, as well as the steering control box and some type of a column support. I haven't figured that one out yet. And the hood is here with the scoop. It's in really bad shape. I've got to figure out how to fix that. The original shifter is a gated shifter with some type of a, it doesn't really work. Series of 1, 2, 3. The window frames, miscellaneous wiper motor and some tools and some wood parts. I haven't figured out where that goes yet. Again, the master cylinder and the brake shoes that I'm missing are there, and the rear drums are in fine shape. So we've got something to work with. It's a pretty neat little project. I'm very excited to get going on it. I'm sure you are interested in watching me. I'm not sure on parts availability yet, but we're going to work at it. I got to find an engine. It would be really nice to have reverse. These cars originally didn't come. Oh no, they did come with reverse, but most guys who put a motorcycle engine in these cars do not have the reverse. I've also got to fix this, obviously this damage here where the turn signal would be. So we've got a lot to do. We're going to get working on it. I just wanted to give sort of an update and show you guys what's going on. It's a pretty neat little car. Again, it's a 57 Berkeley. I don't know if you can read the, I'll zoom in on the tag there. SE 328, 328 that is. And let's see if I can get some paperwork for it and get it licensed and titled and drive it around and take people for rides and make them smile. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting my channel every way you can. All right, we'll see you later. Catch you on the next one.